Hey guys, Jim Grant here for ammoland TV, and today we're taking a closer look at a pistol from Stoeger, their STR-9S Combat. If you're unfamiliar with the brand or the model, it is a locked breech, magazine-fed, semi-automatic handgun, chambered in, predictably, 9mm parabellum. This is from the folks at Stoeger, and if you're not familiar with them, they are the budget line of firearms, or at least the more budget-friendly ones, from the same folks at Benelli. And as such, many shooters are going to understandably expect at least near Benelli quality. But does the gun have it? Well, let's take a closer look at this feature-laden handgun and find out. Aesthetically, Stoeger's STR-9S is a little derivative and vaguely resembles several other pistols on the market. Now that's not to say the gun is ugly, far from it, but it looks exactly like what it is, a purpose-built striker-fired combat handgun. Some standout features include its suppressor height green fiber optic iron sights, 1/2x28 threaded barrel, flared magazine well, and removable optics plate. And truth be told, these features on their own don't really raise an eyebrow, but the fact that they're present on a sub-$1,000 gun is definitely noteworthy. Additionally, the Stoeger ships with multiple optics plate, a rail dust cover, interchangeable back straps, and best of all, 3 20-round steel-bodied magazines. Lastly, the trigger guard features a solid undercut, giving you better leverage on the handgun, and the grip features molded checkering, which strikes a very good balance between grippiness and shooter comfort. And really, that's about it for features. Like I said earlier, the gun isn't revolutionary, but it really doesn't aim to be. It's simply a very competent modern semi-automatic pistol, which 100% is not a bad thing. By using tried and true methods of operation and a quality trusted magazine design, which is to say the magazines utilized by the Stoeger are heavily influenced by Beretta's 92 mags, the STR-9 Combat is a very reliable, dependable pistol. And that brings us to performance. Now, compared to some of my past reviews, this one was a little more limited in terms of round count. That said, I still managed to fire 150 rounds of American Eagle 115 grain full metal jacket, 100 rounds of Aguila 147 grain full metal jacket, 200 rounds of Diamond Dog's NATO spec 124 grain full metal jacket, and 100 rounds of Stealth 165 grain total metal jacket suppressor ammo through the STR-9S. The Aguila, Diamond Dog, and American Eagle all ran flawlessly. But the suppressor-specific stealth ammo definitely struggled to properly cycle in the gun, and that seems to be just that ammo, and that makes sense. It's a very specific load designed for suppressed handguns. And even though I only ran that stealth ammo with the addition of my Silencer Co. Osprey 45 provided by Silencer Shop, it still struggled to cycle that ammo. Though when it did, it was remarkably quiet. And to ensure this wasn't just this gun, I also featured the exact same failures in both my Glock 19 as well as my Beretta 92. So it just seems that, well, not a lot of handguns love that ammo. That said, accuracy from the Stoeger was great, with hits easily possible out to 75 yards on 6-inch steel targets. Now, one thing that hampered accuracy testing initially was the thin nature of the sight plates that are included. Now, while this thinness does make the design more slimline, if you utilize something like this HoloSun HS507C with the ACSS reticle, you're going to have to buy some different screws, because the included screws with the HoloSun will not properly mount to this gun even with the proper plate. They're simply too long. Now, thankfully, I was able to order some replacement screws online that were a little bit shorter, but definitely it's something to keep in mind when buying this gun. As far as ergonomics, they're very good on this gun, provided that the shooter doesn't have either enormous hands or exceptionally small ones. Lastly, in terms of felt recoil, the STR-9S Combat was predictably mild. The bore axis is relatively low, and the fact that it's a 9mm full-sized handgun even further dampened this recoil. This meant that hammered pairs were not only feasible, but fairly easy, provided you weren't shooting the hotter 124 grain NATO ammo, but again, that's true for pretty much any handgun that's not made entirely of steel. So bottom line, is the Stoeger STR-9S Combat worth the money? Well, I would say if you are not already heavily invested in a modern striker-fired, RMR-compatible, threaded barrel handgun, then absolutely. It's a very low cost of entry, though truth be told, I have not yet put enough rounds through this gun to say with 100% certainty that it has the same sort of longevity as more established brands like Sig Sauer or Glock. Now that said, it's still a very nice handgun that was surprisingly accurate, and it ships with enough accessories that you're not going to feel like you need to spend another couple $100 to get this thing where you really want it. Still, it is a very capable handgun and one that I had a lot of fun shooting, even with the current insane prices of 9mm. Anyway, thanks guys. For AmmoLand TV, I'm Jim Grant. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and as always, I will catch you guys on the flip side.